you get to see that shit too. Like, I don't remember the one that she did, but like when she like walked in on those two dudes whispering sweet nothings to each other, and she pops the fucking gun into one of the dude's mouth, and he's like, "Ugh, I can't breathe." Like that shit was funny to me, man.
I don't remember that, but all right.
Yeah, I really got
Jesus.
nothing.
I mean, just tell us how you feel, since
Well, all I
I
have
made
to
you
say
guys promise that this week it would be one
is
of you three doing the
welcome
intro.
to this episode of This Episode Podcast, where tonight we are continuing our discussion of Cowboy Bebop. And I gotta say, it's kind of what episodes? Like 7 through 13 or
7
something?
through 13.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with that, we have pretty much seen the same grounds. Nothing has changed too much, except for like there's like 3 episodes that I can remember this time around.
There's 2 episodes. There's
You had the one with Jet,
Yeah,
and you had the
there's
2 with like
3.
Spike. Or
There's
and like with the one dude.
3 episodes I remember, and I remember them all for very distinctly different. Well, 2 of them I remember for that I was like, man, I wish this character was the main character because they're so much more interesting than our main cast of characters.
Mm.
And then there was one where I was like, fuck, I hate this new character they introduced. They are so annoying. Can they stop talking, please?
Which new character was it? The war dude?
No, it's fucking Radical Ed, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
had a feeling
God.
you'd say that.
Cannot stand that little kid. I will say that
doesn't like children.
what the fuck? I just got a ghost DoorDash order. What the fuck?
Well, pick up your DoorDash, dude.
Yeah.
They got your fat tip too.
I didn't order
They
anything.
came from the
Stupid.
afterlife to give you your order from the future.
I didn't order anything.
Yet.
Exactly.
What were we talking about before that happened?
About you hating children.
Yeah, you don't like children.
Just messed up, dude.
No. There are times when Ed's voice actor carries.
Oh yeah, Ed.
The personality of Ed. Like sometimes that voice actor does such a fucking good job that I can't hate the character. But then they start doing like, I'm Ed. I'm just like, oh, I fucking hate you so much, dude. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I forgot that. I thought Ed came later, but I guess it was sooner than I thought. Where she pops up.
The scene in episode 12, I think, where they're looking for whatever bit Jet and Faye, and Ed looks down the elevator. I'm like, God, that's such good voice acting. Like you can just, it feels like it's like legitimately a kid searching for something. Like, and like the echo, like the voice acting in the show is phenomenal again. But that's So
yeah, I mean, they're definitely written to be more annoying. So.
They are.
I gotta say, Ed doesn't do as
child.
much as I thought. Like they just kind of show up, and they hijack the ship, and then they're just pretty much on the crew. And they've only helped like maybe twice now. After joining the crew.
The episode where is that the first time we met her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With the satellite.
Yeah, that was the first episode we seen Ed, to my knowledge.
The first episode we met her, I was like, fuck, she's so annoying. And I was annoyed because I was like, the police know who the fuck she is. So they should obviously put 2 and 2 together that she's the one hacking the satellite. What the hell's going on here?
And Earth's like completely turned into like a hacker planet.
That was something else I was thinking during that episode. I was like, man, I would much rather get a 12-episode series about life on Earth during this time period than what we're getting with this bounty hunter stuff. This bounty hunter stuff is not.
I was so confused about the whole internet like deep dive stuff. It's like Sword Art Online, like putting on like the goggles and shit. You're just going for like all these icons. Is that like her hacking, or is that her just checking out fucking Internet Explorer?
That's her hacking apparently. But like if that's what it looked like, I would be like,
if that's how you hack, dude, in the fucking future, just going like,
yeah, we've already got VR.
What the fuck am I gonna find? Let's go. And then you just hack like the government.
I hated how fucking like trippy it was. Like nothing was like it was all like double vision and triple vision, and it was all like fucking bright neon pink and greens and oranges. I was like, bro, what the hell's going on? And it was all like wavy and shit. I was like, this is
So kawaii.
it's like a fucking dab of acid before I watched this episode.
Well, like the whole shtick of that episode was like Ed was trying to help out that satellite that became sentient.
That was fucking stupid too.
Whatever
while
happened to
also
that
helping
satellite?
the Bebop crew.
The
They-
satellite, they copied it, turned
Yeah.
turned the copy into the police.
What happened to
They
the
didn't
AI?
The actual AI, they just left it because the police were like, "Oh, this must be the real one." So they just left the AI up in the satellite.
So the
Yeah.
satellite, so the AI is still
So
alone.
presumably,
Yeah,
presumably
yeah,
it's still alone, and it might still be shooting lasers to make drawings on Earth. We don't know.
Yeah,
My biggest
that
pet peeve
episode
with that
confused me this shit
episode,
a lot. Go ahead, Josh. Though.
the biggest pet peeve was, I know that we talk about how sometimes exposition is necessary, sometimes it's overdone. That definitely felt like the episode where they needed to give us a lot of exposition, but the way that it was delivered was like, here it all is, let me shove it into your face whether you want it or not. It's all coming at you during those like TV interviews, and it was like, yes, we are two newscasters from Earth, but we're going to tell you what Earth has been like for the last 20 years. It's like, well, wouldn't we already know that then?
Yeah, Spike and them would know that.
Yeah, I felt like they were going
Yeah.
a good pace with like when they were like going to Earth. Like Jet was just like, it's just a hacker planet now. Like maybe more expedition or explanation between like characters and stuff would definitely help us understand what actually happened to Earth. But the thing I was like kind of weirded out by was like, why is Ed so interested in the Bebop crew? Like they're not even like well-known bounty hunters. You know,
Yeah.
they're just making ends meet barely, if at all.
Did she just see the word Bebop and like, oh, that sounds like a fun crew to join?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's like, what?
and that she had been watching them for a while now, because she mentions, I don't
You
think
guys
that
were on Mars.
yeah, she didn't mention any of the jobs that we've seen, I don't think, but she mentions other jobs they've had, like in recent history. So she's been watching them and been following their history or whatever. And so I don't know why of all the crews she decided to pick that one.
Yeah, that episode definitely threw me off. I mean, all around, I thought it was kind of inconsequential, but yeah, the AI is still alone.
Every episode is inconsequential. No episode has any meaning.
Well, the Jet one was good. Actually, it actually let us explore a little bit with Jet finally. You know, because Jet really hasn't done too much except been like late for the capture or late for the police call or something, and then he just picks up the crew. I was glad at least we got some like more character moments with Jet in his episode.
The absolute nail in the coffin of inconsequentiality for the whole episode where we get introduced to Ed is the fact that because they turn in the hard drive, and I wrote down, Bebop crew gets another bounty / reward. It's about damn time. Because technically they got one in the episode before, with Rocco or Rocco, I forgot how we said his name, whatever.
I think his name was like Rocco, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, it's about damn time. They got another bounty, thank God. And then we found out by the end of the episode that due to some like law or whatever, they've decided that bounties can only be collected on
they got fucked.
like organic organisms or like biological organisms and stuff. So by turning in the hard drive, and even though that was technically the culprit, that the Bebop crew just didn't get the bounty. So I had to cross all of that out and I just wrote, just kidding.
Wasn't that like a $20 million
Dude, it was
bounty too?
It was a thick bounty, I remember.
It was huge. I forget exactly how much, but it was a lot.
I mean, but they got a big bounty in the Jet episode. They got a $1.8 million bounty in the Jet episode.
Yeah, but it seems like they run out of money pretty quickly, so.
Well, because Jet has to rebuild their ships every fucking episode.
Yeah, that literally fix everyone's ship.
Yeah.
You know, and gas prices probably. And
and even though that was them getting a bounty, it was overshadowed by the fact that there was all of like the, overlapping sadness of like, now like rent has to get turned in, but like he's not really that bad of a guy, and like
bro.
So we don't even get to celebrate when they actually succeed, which
This-
is rare.
The single best episode the show has produced so far is episode 8, the
That one
Rocco
was
Barrario one.
that was a solid one.
That one was good. It actually made me feel like that was the only episode I felt any sort of emotion in, because
Why, you
I was
like
like,
Rocco?
yeah. Well, at first I was like, God, this guy's such a fucking loser. Like, can you
Such a
just
pain in
go
the ass.
away?
So annoying.
And then he becomes likable, like this, like begrudgingly likable character. And then you realize his backstory. You're like, oh my God, he's doing all this to protect his sister, who has gone blind in a horrible accident, trying to get her eyesight back. And the motherfucker just dies. I was like, what the fuck, dude? And then his sister gets his eyes back. I was like,
Yeah.
man.
And then
Good
the
episode, man.
consequence for his sister getting her vision back was ultimately his life.
Good. Like that was my favorite episode of the show so far.
Well, and I
By
like too
far.
how they explained how like Spike fights too. Like he's not
Mhm.
like aggressive. He just kind
He-
of lets the enemy's own force go against him.
Yeah, he uses their strength against them.
Just gotta flow like water.
The one thing I didn't like about that
Be
episode
chill. Be
was that
square.
was literally all Spike did to Rococo or whatever his name was with Cocoa Puffs was tell him flow like
Sudoku. Yeah.
the only thing he told Cocoa Puffs was flow like water, and then he did a move to
Yeah.
Cocoa Puffs, and then later in the episode, the climax of the episode, Coco's like water, and then he just fucking
I got
flips some dude with a
this.
gun
It
over.
clicked with him.
I'm like, what?
Bro, he was chill, man. He felt like water, and it just flew or flowed. You know?
But yeah,
Exactly.
that was a really good episode, and then the episode before that, the Heavy
VT?
Metal Queen, VT.
Yeah.
VT, I was like, fuck.
I enjoyed that
I would
episode.
much rather follow a show about VT than a show about these fucking 4 losers that we follow right now.
Yeah, the VT
Badass
episode.
trucker lady.
Literally, the
She's
Bebop
awesome,
crew
dude.
was just definitely secondary that episode.
VT
Like-
was cool. Her backstory was cool. Why she hated bounty hunters made sense. Like,
I missed it. Why is she not like?
because
bounty
her husband was like a super
Famous.
bounty hunter.
Bounty hunter, yeah.
And I think she was like, he died, and then when he died,
I didn't remember. I thought because like Spike said at the end, like, hey, after Spike guessed her name, he was like, hey, he only took like a bill out of like the big ass stack. He's like, all right, go buy him a drink for me. And I was like, oh, does that mean he's still alive? They like break up
No,
or
he-
something?
dead.
Spiritual.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was one of those send offs.
The ending
Gotcha.
the ending of the episode was admittedly unrealistic as fuck. I wrote that down, but pretty
Dude.
fucking awesome.
No, I was like,
Dead as fuck, bro.
yeah, I was gonna ask, like, doesn't space work like a vacuum? Like, wouldn't his eyes just get like fucking
Yes,
popped
you can't
out?
just hold your breath and survive. Yeah, it's not a good time.
He put some earphone. He put his AirPods in. You know,
Yeah,
he was listening to his fucking tunes, listening to the opening theme. Goes out into space, just going. And
yeah.
just completely survives.
Yeah, admittedly unrealistic, but I mean, obviously, it's
cool.
awesome. You know, you can suspend reality for a little bit.
Yeah, I was worried he was gonna blow up his ship, but no, he just blew up the little pod thing that he was in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those 2 episodes were the 2 episodes I really, really enjoyed. And then the Radical Ed episode was the episode that I hated, and then the other ones I don't really remember very much.
Sure.
You don't remember the Jupiter Jazz ones? There's like that was like the 2-part one.
All I remember was that Vicious was there, and then Faye went around with some dude named like Gale or something.
Gren.
Yeah, that's all I remember. But those 2 episodes.
Yeah. So we covered
any episode involving Faye heavily, my brain shuts off because I cannot stand that character.
Why? She's the background.
Yeah, that's why we put her as the
podcast.
background for today.
Yeah.
I hate her so much. She's so fucking obnoxious and annoying.
That just goes to show Mitch hates both women and children.
No, because VT is my favorite character in this show. VT is the best character
Mitch
they've
is
introduced in the show.
slowly turning into Spike. His hair will puff out.
Yeah.
And he'll start wearing like collared jackets.
Hopefully he doesn't start hitting dogs, because that'll be
You know,
the tipping point. That's when we'll know for sure.
that's something else I realized. Spike must be sweating his ass off in that ship because Faye's never wearing any fucking clothes. Ed's never wearing any fucking clothes. Spike's always wearing a cutoff or a shirtless, or not Spike. Jet's always shirtless or wearing a cutoff, and Spike's is fucking in a 3-piece suit all the time. So, dude, how are you not sweating your ass off?
Hmm.
You didn't like VT? You said VT was the best character they introduced in this fucking entire show. I would much rather follow a 25-episode show about VT just being a trucker.
Damn, Yusuf.
Just being like my favorite part of the show was that scene where VT's just driving her fucking truck, talking to all the other truckers. I was like, this is fucking cool.
So
This is
for
really
context,
cool.
Yusuf is in the chat right now mentioning that he's saying that VT was annoying AF.
Mhm.
So I mean, we don't really have his himself here right now because he is, trying to dodge the podcast just to bitch about VT in the background. He can't back up his words. But
VT was the
Yeah.
best.
I was amazed just how obedient that cat was too. Like cats don't listen at all.
Mhm.
Oh, he wrote something. No, I don't like her because every time I would adjust to the audio because the shit was too quiet, then she would blast her fucking rock music and blow my eardrums.
Shut the fuck
Damn.
up, sir.
Damn.
Yeah, just listen less.
Dude.
Forehead.
Every time
Come
she
on, you-
blasted her metal, I was like,
Yeah, Yusuf, we played zombies so much, you should love metal music by now. Come on.
no, VT was best. VT best character. Faye is just fucking atrocious.
She also keeps leaving the crew and then ending up back with them.
And stealing their money and
Yeah. At some point, it's
that
are you going to be
begs a
loyal to this
question,
crew
though.
or not?
Well, that's what begs the question though. How long have these guys been chilling together though?
Mhm.
Because from my point of view, I figured they were chilling around each other for a couple months at least, and then Faye just fucks off because she was starting to feel connected with them, and she doesn't want she does not like commitment at all because I mean, if you could bet there was a chance you could be disappointed or others can let you down, so she is not for that. And yeah, sure enough, Jet is like, no, I gotta get her back. No, I need to get my money back. I mean her. I mean the money. I mean her.
Yeah.
Or the money.
Yeah.
How much was in the safe again?
20,000.
Oh, only that much.
Yeah. So I guess
before we go into the Jupiter jazz, I'd rather we wait for Yusuf.
So we covered 7 for the most part. That was VT's episode. We covered 8. That was with Rocco and his sister. We covered 9. That's where we get introduced to Ed for the first time.
I wanted to gripe a little bit though about what was his name? Rocky Rococo's.
Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, Rocky Rococo's, second best pizza, bro. And I don't remember. He kept pestering Spike at the airport, and Spike was doing he was turning in a bounty, right? He was at a little terminal, and he was depositing money. Oh, look who's here!
Yeah.
He broke the stig. Look at it, it's broke.
Broke the.
Wow, look who finally decided to show up.
Damn.
Hey, I'm back in the bottom left. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with so Spike was turning in a bounty and getting his reward at the airport, and then that's when Rocky Rococo started pestering Spike to teach him and become his master and stuff like that. But then later on in the episode, Rocco's like, "You're a bounty hunter?" I was like, "Did you not just see him turn in a bounty? You were pestering him at the terminal."
That's why I like him. He's such a fucking idiot.
I was like, "Hello, bro."
Dude, I loved it too when Spike hadn't agreed to train him, and he was like, "Yes, master. I'll do whatever you say, master." And I was like, "What a fucking douchebag, dude."
You certainly don't take a hint. And then he took the elevator down. Sure enough, Rocky Rococo's runs down the flight of stairs just to catch up to him.
He had to prove himself.
That episode, yeah,
the
first 2 episodes were great, and I was like, "Yes, finally, the show's getting good." And then it just went back to the same old.
So, I guess before we move on, Yusuf, is there anything you want to mention about the introduction Ed episode, the VT episode, or the Rocky Rococo episode?
The only episode I remember is the VT episode, if I'm being honest. I don't know
Fair
who
enough.
Ed was.
You don't
Was
know who
Ed
Ed
The
is?
little girl,
Is
The
Ed
new
the
hacker
member of the
girl.
crew,
Oh yeah, no,
the
oh yeah.
redhead.
She's
Yeah.
annoying. She's annoying.
Yeah.
I always
Fair.
I don't know. Like the voice actors, like the English voice actors throw me off because VT's voice actor, for some reason I thought the character was a guy, and then I'm like, man, they really fucked up this character. Gave him a girl voice actor. And then no, it was a girl. So I'm like thinking the opposite for Ed. I think it's like a little boy, and uh it turns out to be a girl. So I was just like super confused the whole time. So I don't know. I think the character's a little annoying, just random, but it's a kid, so I guess I don't know.
It
I don't
fits the
really have
bill.
any strong opinions. I was just along for the ride.
No, I said Ed would be my least favorite character if it wasn't for how much the voice actor fucking carries that character. Because, like, I hate Ed, but there are some points where I'm like, man, this voice actor is so good, I can't hate the character.
Mm-hmm.
So,
This reminds me of Tiny Tina a little bit.
and
Yeah.
I just,
Well, I mean,
this show is hard for me because out of our four main characters, I only like one of them a little bit.
and that is who?
Jet.
Jet.
You don't like Ein, dude?
I guess Ein's fine.
Ein probably, let's be honest,
I hope
Ein is
so.
carrying the show right now.
Dude,
Yeah.
I thought Ein was
100%.
gonna be the main character of that one like lobster episode where like that little sludge creature was like crawling around the ship.
Yeah.
But no, Ein got so that episode was like a big homage to the Aliens franchise.
Alien.
And so they had like a little slug creature kind of slithering around the ship, and first was Jet that got bit, and he was just pretty much out for the count. And then we got the obligatory scene with Faye in the bathtub, and then that's where she gets bit. And so both Jet and Faye are out of the count. And then what, Ed and Ein go searching through the corridor. Then we lose Ein, which surprised me because I thought he was going to be the hero of this episode, but no.
Of this
Turns
episode.
out, yeah. So then Spike saves Ein, and then Spike just gets all loaded the fuck out, and ends up fighting and figuring out the main cause of this slime, and it was the fucking lobster he kept in the fridge. That was the most horrendous thing I've ever seen in a show. Just straight up, he opened the fridge and just the buildup, just the goop on the handle, just all the stringy pulley, him opening it up, and you just have all the spores, all the fungus. It just straight up reminded me of like Last of Us and like how shitty like the corridors were in that game. But it was like I was just started gagging because I can only imagine how bad that fucking smelled. First reaction was like, make this someone else's problem. Bitch kicks it in the space.
Yeah, I was gonna say he just wanted to get the shit the hell out of there.
Yeah, if we want to talk about like a throwaway episode, this is probably the best example of it. Just because they don't meet anyone new, unless you want to count the slime creature.
They're all throwaway episodes except for episodes they meet members of their crew. Every episode is a throwaway episode because they never address anything.
You don't know if Rocco comes back to life.
Motherfucker! They killed the second best character in the show, man.
Yeah, you don't know if they see VT again. How about that?
Like they never address anything that happens in the previous episodes ever.
Oh, you have a question for the class?
Who's Rocco?
He's dead.
The brother who has the blind sister.
He's the second best character in the show.
Damn, dude. I missed all these characters.
The dude that dies, the dude that trains with Spike.
Wait, we were supposed to watch Cowboy Bebop. I was
Oh, I do
watching
remember someone dying.
World Domination again.
Yeah, the guy that
Oh
was.
wait, oh the one that he was like, "Master, please."
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
He
okay.
was fucking awesome.
Okay.
And
He just gets shot through the fucking chest out of nowhere.
that was the only episode in the show that I've felt any emotion towards yet. Because I was like, God, this guy's so annoying. It went from God, this guy's so annoying to yes, I cannot wait for this fucker to join the crew to oh my fucking God, they just killed him.
He's not in the intro. He doesn't matter.
Who
Yeah.
built the character better that made you feel so invested into them? Was it Rocco or was it Utah? Whatever from JJK?
Oh,
Well, I mean,
the Zero guy.
I mean, Utah is not even the same category. JJK like, for me right now, JJK is up here and Bebop's not even on screen. So
Damn.
But you said you didn't give a shit about Utah, and you cared a lot
oh,
about.
Utah. I thought you were talking about Junpei. I thought you were talking about Junpei. No, yeah,
Nah,
Utah.
Junpei.
Fuck Utah. Utah sucks, dude.
So
Utah.
Rococo was better.
Yes, if I was gonna do like my top 500 anime characters, Coco would be above Utah.
Dude,
It'd be number
for next week.
365. He already like has it all categorized, you know, like
Next week on this episode.
yeah, we
Oh,
go
we do
over
a
Mitch's
7-hour
top.
episode.
Oh
yeah,
fuck.
Bebop did this in like 15 minutes, while JJK
Yeah.
had a whole hour and a half.
Whole ass movie. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean the
Yeah.
consequence of that movie was like it was just reintroducing a lot of stuff because they had to teach Utah everything. But I mean, it just kind of annoyed
I
me.
mean, hey, who knows? Season 2, he might become my favorite.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see him
And-
return and see what he brings to the table. More experienced Utah.
Going back
Yeah.
to what you were talking about of episode 11, bring it back to Cowboy Bebop. The whole like things being inconsequential and there being no repercussions. In trying to eject the fucking fridge out the ship, Spike also gets bit by that slimy creature, whatever the fuck monstrosity that is. So he also gets bit, and he's also nearly sucked out into space and killed. Although I guess he can just hold his breath for an indeterminate amount of time, so he'd probably be fine. But Spike also gets bit, but he like burns up the fucking slimy thing, and Ed just eats it. She just eats it,
Well,
and
you know what's
she's
better
fine.
too?
I guess she digests it. I guess it's fine, and then I guess that also the Bebop crew
They slept it off.
they sleep it off and they recover from whatever
That's when I was saying before.
whatever debilitating
Yeah.
disease they got from that bite. They just sleep it off,
No.
and they're fine by the time that episode.
That's why
12
I was saying
rolls
this
around. And I'm
was the
like,
most inconsequential episode in the series. I'm not saying everything else isn't. I'm saying
Yeah.
this one is the biggest offender of that
Yes.
because
My-
not
my-
only did they
my-
all get infected, but then the biggest threat, Ed just fucking eats it at the
Yes.
end. Like straight up, just like she just yawns, just goes like fucking, ooh, that looks like a nice little fucking and just
the final bullet point that I have for
What?
that episode is Ed eats the monster. That's literally the end.
yeah. No chest
Yeah, I think
burster
they
or
were
anything like
expecting
that. What the
Ainz
fuck?
to
What kind of
eat it.
aliens episode is this?
Man, my biggest problem with the show is there are no stakes. Because they go on these wacky adventures every episode. They go fight this bad guy, captures this bad guy, fight a fucking sentient satellite.
Mhm.
And then but the entire time I'm watching, I'm like, they're gonna win. No one's gonna die. Their ship's gonna break. Jet's gonna be pissed. It's the same shit. It's every episode. Say Spike's gonna do something cool. Faye's gonna be fucking annoying. Her tits are gonna pop out.
She's gonna find two dudes
fucking
slamming it.
annoying, man. Like it's the same shit every episode. There are no stakes. There is not once where I have been worried about one of our characters getting hurt or dying.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say, yeah, I think that we can assume the main four are safe, but obviously, like,
5.
Rococo Puff, sorry, 5. Rococo Puffs died, and then obviously, when we get to talk about the last 2 episodes, another person dies, and so like there are side characters dying, and you can be the judge of whether that's impactful or not. But
it's
yeah,
not
we
impactful.
can say it's pretty safe for the main 5 that they aren't gonna get into any life-threatening danger.
It is, which is one is boring to me because humans die all the fucking time. So why are these characters immune? Second, it's not impactful to me when you kill a side character that I know will never show up again. So it's like after their 20 minutes of fame, they might as well be dead because they're never gonna show up again.
Mm.
So it doesn't matter if they die because we're never gonna see
Yeah.
them again. So it's
Yeah.
like I would if like Rococo or VT were a character for 5 episodes and then they died, I'd be like that would be impactful, but it's not because nothing in the show matters. Nothing
Yeah.
matters. Episode to episode to episode, nothing matters.
Yeah. Like
And it's
episode 12 ends with Spike getting shot, but episode 13 begins with learning it was a tranquilizer gun. It's like, well,
yeah,
yeah, Spike's not going to get shot in episode 12 of 27 or 26. Sorry, he's not going to get shot in episode 12 of 26, and they're going to actually carry that through to the end. There's no way.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
And
this is like the
then,
second time he's been shot too. First time he fell out of like a church window.
right? Yeah, exactly.
So we already
Yeah,
know he can get
slept that
shot.
off.
Yeah, especially in the gut.
It's just why I'm not liking the show. Like nothing matters. And it's just fucking boring.
Well, no, I definitely enjoyed the last 2 episodes because, again, it gave us a little bit more hints of Spike's backstory. I didn't really care too much about Faye or Jet in these episodes. It was just kind of getting more like a little bit further with the backstory with was his face Vicious. But yeah, they didn't
Grin.
really explore too much. It explores the new character. What's their name? Josh?
Gren.
Gren. Okay. So
Or it's spelled Gren, but I feel like every time I heard it, they were saying Grin.
So fucking
but
Graham
it's-
Cracker.
But it's
You know,
spelled
we
Gren.
follow Graham Cracker, and they're on what was it, Jupiter, and it was interesting to
That's
explore the
another
planet.
thing I want to talk about this fucking show. How the fuck are they on Jupiter? Jupiter's a ball of gas, man.
Dude, it's the year 2090.
2070.
What?
Yeah,
That doesn't change the physical compound of Jupiter, man.
you don't
They have
know.
some
Maybe it just got
technology,
built
man.
better. It just got better.
And in
I
50 years, have humans developed the ability to inhale and breathe sulfur
I
on
actually
Venus?
have a
What?
thing
Well,
that I'm
if they've,
thinking.
if they've been able to gain the ability to just hold their breath in space and not feel anything from it, then probably.
Like them being in Mars and them going to other solar systems, being Earth-like planets makes sense. Why the fuck are they on Jupiter and Venus, man? We know those planets are so stupid.
I mean, I don't. I believe it. Just
what if it was
because-
a different galaxy's Venus?
Shut the fuck up.
So
dude.
so
It could be
just
facing
for
the opposite direction from the
clarification,
sun.
they were on Callisto, which is an ice-covered moon of Jupiter, not on Jupiter.
Oh,
I had to check because I know that Europa is like an icy moon of Jupiter, and I didn't know if they were on Europa, but it's
well, that
they
explains
were
why
on
it
a
was so
moon.
cold then there.
Yeah.
So then they were on Venus though, for sure, right?
They were on Venus in one of the episodes. The VT episode, they were on Venus.
Well,
And I was like,
wasn't it the Rocky Rococo one because like it had Venus had like a bunch of
spores.
helium.
Oh yeah, right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then Spike started talking in like that high pitched voice,
Mhm.
and he just took a pill and felt better. Future man, it's built different.
Yeah, you're able to eat a hot dog sideways in one bite and then regurgitate it.
Mm-hmm.
Built different.
Only if your name is Spike, though.
Yeah.
2090.
I gotta say, I wasn't too interested in Graham Cracker's story. It was just kind of there for me.
So, Gren's a girl, right?
No, it was a dude.
He's a man.
They're like, because of the. Oh, bye, Josh. Welcome
Bye,
back, Josh. Bye,
I
Yusuf.
had a feeling that was going to happen.
He's a dude with
Yeah, so their explanation of why Gren has titties is that he was in a war with Vicious. That's also how he knows Vicious. They were in a war together. But when Gren came back home, he was accused of being a spy, so he was imprisoned. And while he was in prison, they subjected him to like experimental drugs that they were testing, and those like kicked his hormones out of balance. And so I guess that he had a bunch of extra estrogen, so he grew titties, but he still has
That leads you to the question, like,
So-
why would he stay in that Jupiter then? Because that's a guy-only moon.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, seems kind of like a weird call.
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously, his priority numero uno is finding Vicious and figuring out whether or not Vicious betrayed Gren and like sold him out or accused him of being a spy. But that doesn't exactly answer why he was there. It just happened to be that that's then where Vicious was during these episodes.
Wait,
But
but before we talk about
but presumably Gren was there before Vicious got there. So I don't know.
before we talk about Jupiter Jazz, did we want to talk about the Jet episode a little bit?
Well,
That's up to you guys. I mean, I didn't really have much to. I mean, it was obviously interesting to see more of Jet's backstory, to learn more about that, and to like sympathize with him. But like in terms of the plot and stuff, nothing completely blew me out of the water, or surprised me. I
I
guess.
think
But
I think they did a great job showing Jet's character now. That he is somebody that had a past. He had a different life before meeting Spike and becoming a bounty hunter. And they highlight that perfectly, I think, at the ending of the episode where his significant or ex's, his ex gave him back like the pocket watch that she left him when she left. And pretty much all he did was smirk and he just tossed that bitch in the lake.
Dude,
And I was like,
this
that is a
episode-
perfect representation of how he has moved on completely from his old life.
This episode compared to the start of episode of 12 just shows how much like better of a person Jet is than Spike. Because Jet's with his ex, he's like, you know what, I choose my boys over, choose my crew over my ex, and Spike's like, oh Julia, hey fuck all you, I'm going to find her. Like, and Jet's like, what do you mean? We need to go after Faye. We need to get our money. We need like, and Spike's like, oh, that's your decision, buddy. I'm leaving. Fuck you.
It's just how mercs work.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot like Spike is so boring, dude.
the thing that I actually noticed, like after thinking about it some more, is that this whole episode of this episode having Rint and Elisa running away from Jet, it was a strong parallel to the first episode when it was the dude who took the red eye and the chick with the baby that was actually shotgun bullets or whatever getting chased by Spike. And so it was an interesting parallel, but obviously this is the scenario where like the people who are being chased, yeah, there was a bounty on Rint, but like these are two like actually good people, and in the first episode they were, arguably bad people.
I was just glad that they used the
thought that was
claw on
interesting.
Jet's ship. They just it was just kind of on the ship, and I was like, oh, that's just kind of how a ship looks, I guess. Sure enough, the little claw like turns around and shoots the boat that they're driving. I'm like, oh yeah, they're using it, using it. Pull them in, flip them, fuck them up. And then sure enough, they just kind of park, or the ship like kind of blows up.
Was that the episode where Faye and Ed literally just sat on the boat all episode doing nothing?
Yeah.
Faye just suntanned the entire time.
I'm surprised this isn't your favorite episode, Mitch, because Faye didn't do.
I fucking hate Faye.
She didn't do nothing.
Faye is the like. Oh my god! I cannot understand how much I hate this woman. I hate female characters that are written like this.
I have three. I have my top 3 characters from this show. I've got Jet, Ein, Jet, Ein, and Faye.
Dude, you're fucking messed the fuck up. Dude.
Wait, Faye's your number 1? Are you trolling?
She's in my top 3.
There's no fucking way she's in your top 3.
Yeah, she also goes on little missions, and you get to see that shit too. Like, I don't remember the one that she did, but like when she like walked in on those two dudes whispering sweet nothings to each other, and she pops the fucking gun into one of the dude's mouth, and he's like, I can't breathe. Like, that shit was funny to me, man.
I don't remember that, but all right.
Yeah, I really got nothing. I don't really mind Faye.
She's
honestly.
just annoying.
I think that was the same episode as the guy with the hormone imbalance.
Yeah. I mean, at some points she's just pretty much filling out
whatever.
crossing a check off a box, off a list, nice fan service scene, check.
That's why I hate her.
And then we have like scenes where she's like, I abandoned them because, I'm scared of commitment. And then her like chilling in the bar, I don't really hate when she's on screen. I don't mind it at all.
She
Yeah,
looks like
talk
a
about
fucking
character development, Mitch. Like here she is trying to work past her trust issues to try and you know believe in this new group that uh wants to be like her own little family with their family dog. They have a child. They have a dad and another and like a rebellious brother, single father. And we have like the rebellious teen stepdaughter.
No, I don't understand how this show is considered the fucking like goat of anime. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Well,
I
I
agree
mean,
with that.
well, what are your gripes then, Yusuf? Because Mitch has already, explained it all pretty much. Not that it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't keep my attention at all. Like I'm not really when I'm watching the
So
show,
when you're
like
going to
I'm not
bed and falling asleep, that's when the show loses you.
I'm serious because I was like just chilling on my bed. I was watching on my laptop because if I had to put a show on 1.5 times speed, like that's fucked up. Like
No, like,
I don't want to have to do that.
I'll
And
I'll second that. Sorry, Yusuf, but I just wanted to jump in. I'll second that because like on my second watch through of JJK, I was like this engaged watching the entire time. Watching this show, I'm like, "Ugh, fuck, when is this episode over? Scrolling through my phone, just waiting for the episode to end.
Well,
yeah, and like
is
I
that
got
just because
to
there's no stakes?
Yeah, there's nothing matters in this show. There's no importance whatsoever in this show.
yeah.
I'm sitting there watching 24 minutes of, oh, what are they gonna do this time? Oh, they're gonna go fight this guy. Oh, they're gonna have this really big fight where they got to figure out. It's super important. And oh, we're all safe. We're all happy. Our ships are wrecked. Oh well.
Yeah,
Faye's gonna show her tits again.
It's like
Well,
when I
I
when I
was.
when I
Go ahead.
hop on like now when I start watching episode, I don't know where we're at because I actually fell asleep during the last 3 episodes because I actually like fucking got bored. I don't even know what happened, but I don't know if we're episode 14 next time we watch this.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
don't know where we left off. I missed 2 to 3 episodes, and honestly, that's probably fine because all I know is that we have 4.5 main characters. And I think that's all you need to know. I mean, you have VT or whatever the hell her name is. You got
She's
the
never gonna come
war
back.
criminal. Yeah. I don't know. Like I don't know. There's not really yeah, I guess there's no stakes. Like
And
I don't know.
I was really hoping like the show was like, okay, we're gonna do an intro, like the first 6 or 7 episodes where it's just getting the crew together, showing the world, start the main story. But no, it's just the same old shit over and over and over and over and over again.
In the end, I appreciate like at least trying to watch it because everyone says it's a must watch, right? Because it's one of like you said, it's like one of the foundation of anime, but I don't know. At least now I can say I watched it. I didn't really care for it, or I watched half of it. I'm gonna finish watching it,
Yeah, we
but
still have half of it to watch. And
yeah,
like I said
so
last week, they can still turn this around if this next 13 episodes are like super emotional and super fucking like in depth, and there's a good story and characters do shit that I care about. Then yeah, I'll eat my words. But right now, the show is mid
Yeah,
at
the show
best.
is definitely just more. Uh, like I think it just depends on your mindset of watching a show. Like I was trying to draw parallels between this show and like Pokemon, which have like the same like kind of setup for episodes. Like you have like the action, you have the villain, then they all blast off, and it's the end of the show. But like the difference between Bebop and like shows like Pokemon, where they're just like whatever episodes, throwaway episodes, is that
They're a self-contained
yeah,
story.
because shows like Pokemon, they always have like that one like singular goal in the distance. Like that's what
Mm-hmm.
Naruto does. That's what uh Black Clover does. They say like I'm gonna be the Wizard King. I'm gonna be Hokage. I'm gonna be the Pokemon Master because now we can watch these episodes thinking, all right, we're still in it because we want to see what happens at the end. Do they reach their goal? We have that in mind while watching it. Bebop doesn't have that.
Well, and with like Black Clover and Naruto and I guess Pokemon, like when there are just dumb filler bullshit episodes in the back of your mind, you can be like, okay, they're doing this to further their goal.
Well, yeah, ultimately
to
this will
train
lead
this.
to
Yes,
this climax or this end goal.
where
But
Bebop is
Bebop
just
is it's just if you're fine with like if you can connect to a character or just like a character in the show and you just experience how they handle certain situations, that's just kind of how it goes. If you can't get tied to a character or attached to any of them, then you really have nothing holding on to you.
yeah,
Because like Mitch, like it makes perfect sense why you're not super into it because there's
because
no character that's holding your interest.
they haven't given us anything to hold our interest to. It's just a bunch. It's
Well,
like I'm the cool, low key taekwondo guy. Jet, I'm the big tough mechanic. Faye, I'm the slut. It's like it's fucking. It's
well,
true though.
but for me, like I can gel past these episodes just fine. You know, I can look at the alien reference like episode and be like, all right, that one was kind of stupid. But like for me, I just turn my brain off, you know, and just
It,
enjoy watching Spike and the gang have a journey. And that's fine
it
for me because I don't care about the end goal. I'm just enjoying what's in front of me. But that just shows
it's
how we're different.
to me. It's really bad when episode fleshed out backstory than your entire
You cut off at the
main.
start there.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized my mic is way the fuck over here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about
All
that.
we heard was it's really bad when.
I just realized that it's really bad when you have in back-to-back episodes one character two characters in separate episodes that have more in depth of a backstory than all four of your main characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like what are we doing here?
Yeah, the only
Can I
character
can
that
I get
we
some depth, please? Can I get something to attach to with these characters?
mm-hmm.
I mean,
Please.
because these characters that we meet, we only get them for maybe for one, maybe two episodes, versus we have the whole 26 episode series for the other characters. I
But
don't know, maybe that's the logic.
it's been 13 episodes, and we are now just getting into Spike's backstory and what makes Spike do what he does.
Yeah, we got a hint of it last week with our episodes, but
Yeah,
like
the other
it
time
was
he
just
fought
planting a
Bishop.
seed because now we know like he's had a obvious weird past and some
Yeah.
shit went down. But like now with like the Jupiter Jazz episodes, it really didn't go too much further. It was just already talking about stuff that was already established. Like Spike obviously doesn't like Vicious. Some shit went down between them. And then Vicious just kind of lets his lackey dude that knew Spike, they had a history, shoot him. And like Vicious didn't finish the job. So it's like, oh, I guess we're leaving this for later. But ultimately it was nothing was gained from those episodes.
Yeah,
The
my
one character of the show that we've had the most backstory covered with was Jet. But like we already knew like just because we know he mentioned he was a cop, he has all these contacts still that he gets in touch with for bounties. And now with the whole X episode, but like
mhm.
now how much more can we talk about with Jet? Not
and,
probably not
and
much.
and so I got two things to say. One, like I said before, the show still has a lot of time to change my mind, and I have a feeling it will change my mind on a lot of things. I feel like at the end of this, I will like Spike. I will overall have enjoyed my experience with this show.
You'll have appreciated Faye.
No, well, I was gonna say that they could make me eat my words on Faye too. Like they could reveal this crazy backstory to explain why she acts the way she does. I still won't like the fucking absurdity and fan service of her character because I think that's just it's not necessary. It's pointless. But I could come to like her as a character. But I think the biggest reason why I don't like this show right now is because the single most important thing when you're writing a story is consequences. Characters make decisions. Those decisions have to have consequences, either good or bad. These characters make decisions, and they're like, okay, we're just gonna fucking have a dog fight above Earth with a satellite, and nothing matters. And like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, they're gonna blow up an entire mining, and they're like, oh, let's just go on our day. It's like, what's going on? Like, come on. These
Yeah.
characters need to have
The only
consequences for their
time
actions.
they ever face like a consequence is because of some actions they've done during a chase, they lose out on the bounty because of like a split decision.
Yeah, but
they
but
made.
what I mean is that is a minuscule, microscopic consequence of the action of the episode. Like when a character makes a decision in episode 1, it should go back and affect them in episode 10. Like I hate shows like this where it's just like, oh, whatever, what doesn't, consequences and decisions don't matter. Let's just have fun. I hate shows like this.
No,
So
I
that's
mean,
just me.
I can't convince you otherwise. That's your thought on it.
Yeah, in terms of through lines and grand goals or whatever, all we really have at the end of these 13 episodes is that, Spike knows Julia is out there, so he probably wants to find her, and he probably also just wants to kill Vicious because he hates him. But that's really all we've got in terms of like goals that will probably get carried over multiple episodes. I feel like it would have been nice if, in and amongst all this bounty hunting, Spike was saying, because you were talking about like having those goals of like Pokemon Master, Wizard King, etc. That
Mm-hmm.
if he had like this goal of like, I want to save up enough money from all this bounty hunting to do X, like to buy an island or to like get away and move to X planet or whatever, that would give us like something to hope for. Like we would want him then to get bounties and actually succeed and get the rewards so that he can save up to do that. But right now it's like we have no idea even, presumably the bounty hunting is just a means of survival for him. Like he's not saving up for anything or to get anything. But
Yeah.
like if it started as him saying, I want to save up to do this, and then by the end it was like he did that because he wanted to find Julia and take her there and settle, then we could, by the end of it, we could be like, oh, it paid off. This is great. But like right now, it's just like,
I
what
don't
do you
think
guys
I don't think
want?
that would work though with these characters because Spike is already an established mercenary or a bounty hunter. I mean, like when shows in like Pokemon and Naruto or Black Clover, we're finding the characters at their beginnings, so we're there at the start. So we want to see how it ends. With Spike, he's already established. We have to then go through his backstory early on, or we have to transition from the start of him and then get to where he's at now. So then we
I know.
actually
I
grow with
want to
him a
know
little
what his
bit.
desires are, or I want to know what his end goal is, because right now it just seems like he doesn't have one, and
He
so
just don't
that's
know.
uninteresting. Then it's uninteresting to not have an
Yeah.
end goal.
And
It wouldn't
for
work for the
me,
show.
for me, it's not
I think it
even
would.
it's not even the lack of an end goal. It's just that I don't know how to word this. Like Spike not having an end goal is fine to me because you can throw a protagonist without a goal into a story and that story can still work. Like I can't think of any
A perfect example, I think, is Dragon Ball. Actually,
shut the Dragon Ball sucked.
I'm being serious. Like pretty much all like the early like arcs of like Dragon Ball Z, they all stem from Goku just being who he is, existing in the world, and now all these conflicts come towards him and he has to step up and rise above all the challenges that comes his way through like the three like first arcs of the entire show. So it's just he grows because the world keeps coming at him.
Well, what I was gonna say is that like the idea that Spike needs to have like this goal, like this end goal, and like this Hokage or Wizard King or whatever goal. I don't think that's it. I just think that the reason the show is lacking for me is because there's no sense of story. There's no sense of like consequences. Like I said, their decisions don't matter, and then there's just like it feels like it's 13 different shows or 13 different like it feels like episode 1 they're in one world and they teleport to a different dimension, and then like the consequences of episode 1 don't carry over to episode 2, don't carry over to 3. It's just like I don't know, it's just boring to me. It was just and what Josh said, we don't know Spike's motivations, and if Spike's motivations are I want to find my ex-girlfriend, it's like, dude, try harder, because he doesn't feel like you're trying very hard.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of going with the flow, honestly. He's just trying to get bounties and just live and get past his past life, but it keeps catching up with him. And he's so, I don't know what the word
like you
is, but
said, though,
he's too headstrong. He doesn't want to let it go when it's right in front of him, but he's not going to go out of his way to go after him right now.
Like you said though, hopefully we'll learn more about who Spike is. Like the like minuscule flashbacks we've seen where he was like on an operating table and there's something up with his eyes being different colors, so maybe he got like hurt really bad and he had to get
like a
like
lighter shade of
augmented
brown.
or some shit. I don't know. And like maybe it'll be revealed that like Julia was kind of in love with both of them, which is why Spike, made that jab at Vicious and he was like, "Are you seeing Julia behind my back?" Hopefully we'll learn more about all that stuff. But yeah, like you're saying, it's kind of unfortunate where the only time where we really feel invested and interested in the show, and aside from when you have some side characters that are actually interesting like VT and Rococo Puffs, are the backstory episodes. And then if it's not a backstory episode, it's like, okay, this is just the equivalent of filler for this show, which is unlike other shows where filler happens once in a while. It's now the grand majority of the show, and it's like when we finally get the juicy backstory, it's like, oh, it's about damn time.
Wow.
And it annoys me too that the first scene in this entire show was this super grim, dark, emotional scene where Spike's just pouring rain and it's like super emotional, like setting up this super big, badass story, and then it's just like, let's go catch bad guys.
Well,
Let's go catch bad guys.
I think at this point, the only one that hasn't been chiming in is Yusuf. So this is your chance to stand on the milk carton.
Help us wrap it up, Yus.
Good job. All right. Well, with that, thank you, Yusuf. But go ahead.
Yeah, I've just been listening to this because I seriously don't have any strong opinions about this show. It doesn't make me feel strongly for it. I'm not too strongly against it. I just don't really care for it right now. So I'm just along for the ride. I'm just another space cowboy. They're just pulling me along, and just see where it takes me because halfway through it. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
I wore another
yeah.
space cowboy
Thank you,
shirt this
Yusuf.
week. It's a different
Yeah.
space cowboy this week though.
What
Is
is
that
that?
Stitch from Minecraft?
Mandalorian. It's
Oh.
the Mandalorian.
Stitch from
What
Lilo and
is
Stitch.
that?
Yeah.
Stitch was last week. Now it's the Mandalorian.
They all look the same, right?
It's Boba Fett.
No, this is the
What is it?
Mandalorian.
It's Jango
What
Fett.
is that?
No, it's not.
They all wear the same helmet, though, right?
What is
Correct.
It's
I probably
Kombucha
just
Fett.
pissed
Star
off so many
Wars.
people.
Yusuf, it's Star Wars.
I
It's
see
Lego
Alex just
balls.
get beat the shit out of me now.
Man, I never
You know-
watched Star Trek.
Mitch, you were on something?
You know what? Something else. These last, because we watched Noragami, Love Domination, Megaloboxing, Bebop. Right? That's what we watched.
I believe so.
Something like
Most
that.
recently, yeah, most recently.
Man, these last like 3 months of this podcast or 2 months of this podcast have made me rethink how much I like anime. Because
All right, next one we're watching,
Damn. This
Psychopath.
is deep. This deep cut.
because there are anime
Mhm.
that are so good, but then like I would say the majority of anime are fucking stinkers, man. Like
That's how it is with any
no,
art
like
form or
no,
anything.
but like I mean like the anime format of it, it's just like I don't know, man. I think I don't know. I just think it's not as good as it once was for me.
Just anime as a whole.
Yeah,
Damn.
but that's what it is.
Falling out of love.
Mitch is getting jaded. Doesn't like
That's
children.
how
Doesn't
you
like
know you've been
women.
watching
and he
enough
doesn't
anime,
like
though.
anime anymore.
It's just tough because like we have like the really really good like unfortunately though mainstream shows that we're just waiting for, and it's
Mhm.
really hard to compete with them. You have like those diamonds hidden in the rough, but we just have to find them. But we're
Well,
we're panning through everything right now.
Dude, I'm a geologist. I'm
also-
trying my best.
I also think it's because we've watched 4, I would say either mid or bottom tier anime in the last couple months, and including like I would say on our show I would say
got a little tease, got a little,
I
got a
heard what
little
you're about to
tease. I think I
say.
perked up a little bit. I'm like, is he gonna say the word?
Dude, that body pillow's coming off
Say
the
it
wall.
for
It's ready
me.
to hit you.
I would say on our show we've only discussed 3 like good anime.
That, let me guess. It's JJK, Attack on
Cromartie the
Titan,
show,
and Demon
Cromartie the
Slayer.
movie, and then something.
And
Yeah.
then aside from
JJ
me joking there, obviously Cromartie and Cromartie and
Yeah,
Cromartie.
JJK, Attack on Titan, and Demon Slayer. The rest have been either mid or shit. So
That's
Yeah.
fair.
so
Yeah, I mean,
I guess that's why they're
that's the most
mainstream at the end of the
important part
day.
of having
Yeah,
an
yeah.
opinion. Know what you like,
They're
know
popular
what you
'cause they're
don't
good.
like.
yeah, that's a good point. They're popular because they deserve to be, because they're good.
Yeah.
So
But I think with that,
It's also tough
we
to,
still need to be
like
talking.
Travis was saying, it's good, but you also don't want to pick what you watch because you probably have watched it. Because if you're picking it for all of us to watch, you want to have some sort of, I don't know, some insight on it. But yeah, it just makes it tough. So,
mhm.
Yeah, I mean, for me, for this rewatch of Bebop, it's like it's pretty much just a fresh experience all over again because every episode is completely different in its own right. So it's really hard to remember all the episodes. I remember I remember how it ends, and I'm excited to see your guys' opinion on it. But I'm also
That's good
excited. I'm excited to see how it leads up to its ending because I forgot.
Like I'm just counting the day. Honestly, I'm just counting the days till the beginning of October where we can start talking about Chainsaw Man and My
Cromartie the
Hero.
manga. Gotcha.
Fuck, shoot me, dude.
We can't say that. We can't say that. Unalive me.
No, shoot me in the brain.
No, we can't say that on Twitch.
Maybe that'll make you
me.
wise up.
We can't say that
Maybe
on
you'll
Twitch.
finally respect Cromartie for what it is. But I think with that, we have exhausted all we need to talk about for Cowboy Bebop this week, right, gentlemen?
yeah, I met
Crickets.
my word limit a while ago.
Okay. So
Dude,
after
your word limit's like 5.
So after Yusuf's exhausting 25 characters that he shared for this podcast, we are going to be ending
Sweating
this
here, boys.
episode of this episode podcast. So whoever hung out, thanks for hanging out. Josh does appreciate his t-shirt that we have not introduced very well. And thank you for joining us. Last minute towel. But we are going to be ending this episode of this episode. So we'll catch you in the next one. Cue the outro. On the next episode of this episode, Trav and Yusuf discuss their top 10 anime characters along with Mitch and Josh's towel. Since you made it to the end of this episode, make sure to drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. While you're there, ring the bell and turn on notifications if you don't want to miss when new episodes go live. If you want to support us elsewhere, follow us on Spotify at This Episode Podcast and head over to twitch.tv/DutchRead where you can watch us live every Monday night. Thanks for watching. Wait, why am I doing the outro? I'm not even gonna be there.